نحمده ونصلي على رسول الكريم ونشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له ونشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي. Respected viewers and listeners, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. It's verse number 282 from chapter number 2 Al-Baqarah. We are starting our class today. A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. In the name of Allah, the most compassionate, the most merciful. Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu. O those who have attained to faith. Idha tadayantum bidainin ila ajalin musamma. When you contract a debt for a specific period of time, faktubuhu. You write it down, put it in black and white. وَلْيَكْتُبْ بَيْنَكُمْ كَاتِبٌ. Let a scribe write this document between you, بِالْعَدْلِ, with justice. وَلَا يَأْبَ كَاتِبٌ أَنْ يَكْتُبَ. And a writer or a scribe should not refuse to write. كَمَا عَلَّمَهُ اللَّهُ. As Allah has taught him and given him knowledge, فَلْيَكْتُبْ. So he should write. وَلْيُمْلِ الَّذِي عَلَيْهِ الْحَقِّ. And let the document be written or dictated by the person who has the obligation or who is the debtor. He has to declare or write the document. And you should fear Allah, His Lord, and not diminish anything. Write anything, everything. If the person who has the obligation, or that means who is a debtor, who takes the loan, if he is safiha, that means if he is not up to, doesn't have proper full understanding, or he is too weak, or he doesn't know how to dictate or how to write a document, let his guardian or an attorney dictate the document on his behalf. Bil-adl, with justice. وَاسْتَشْهِدُوا شَهِدَيْنِ مِنْ رِجَالِكُمْ. Then take two witnesses or make two witnesses of this document, two males, two men. فَإِنْ لَمْ يَكُنَ رَجُلًا. If you don't find two men, فَرَجُلٌ وَامْرَأَتَانِ. Then one man and two women. Those witnesses whom both parties you accept as witnesses, so that if one of the females errs, the other one reminds her. The witnesses should not refuse to put their witness when they are called for that. And you should not feel weary. And do not be weary to write a document, whether the amount is small or big, for a specific period of time. This is more just in the sight of Allah. And it is stronger as evidence. And it prevents doubts in between you regarding this transaction. Except the hand-to-hand or cash transactions you make between yourselves. Which you usually make in your daily lives. Then there is no blame or sin upon you. If you don't write those documents. But you should keep witnesses when you go for a transaction. A writer or scribe should not be harmed. Not a witness. If you do it, that means you try to harm or tease the writer or the witness. This is an open disobedience from your part. Fear Allah. And Allah teaches you all these things. And Allah has knowledge of everything. وَإِن كُنْتُمْ عَلَى سَفَرٍ. But if you are on a journey, وَلَمْ تَجِدُوا كَاتِبًا, and you don't find a writer or a scribe to write the document, فَرِحًا مَقْبَةً, then a security deposit or placed with possession. فَإِنْ أَمِنَ بَعْضُكُمْ بَعْضًا, but if you trust between each other, you put your trust in each other, فَلْيُؤَدِّ الَّذِي تُؤْمِنَ أَمَانَتَهُ, then the person who has been interested should come up to that trust. He should fulfill that trust. وَلْيَتَّقِ اللَّهَ رَبَّهُ, and he should fear Allah, his Lord. وَلَا تَكْتُمُوا الشَّهَادَةَ, and don't conceal the testimony. وَمَنْ يَكْتُمَهُ, who conceals it, فَإِنَّهُ آثِمٌ قَلْبُهُ, his heart, he makes his heart full of sin. He makes a sinful heart. وَاللَّهُ بِمَا تَعْمَلُونَ عَلِيمٌ, and Allah knows what you do. Sadaqallahul Azim. This is verse number 282. About this verse, you already know. This is the longest verse of Quran, as was the previous one, which we read last time, verse number 281. وَاتَّقُوا يَوْمًا تُرْجَعُونَ فِيهِ إِلَى اللَّهِ. That's the last revealed verse to Prophet, peace be upon him. Last revealed. And this verse, which we are studying today, verse number 282, this is the longest verse of Quran. Imagine, let's try to understand. It's 1400 years back, revealed, a law laid, a doctrine established, how to deal with each other. If you go for transactions, especially about debts, you borrow money from each other, it should be well planned and well done, so that there are minimum suspicions and there should not be any trust deficit. Once you put the document in black and white, imagine at the time when people didn't know what is reading and what is writing. Knowledge was a rare commodity. In whole Arabian Peninsula, there were just few who can be counted on fingertips, the people who knew how to read and write. And that was too primitive reading, not the way we read today, we understand it. When we read this verse, I feel like any other verse of the Quran, as this verse is being revealed today itself. It is 21st century verse. We know today, we are impressed by Western standards, Western language. We hear the word attorney, and we read the documentation. We need a petition writer. These are English words. Then magistrate and courts and witnesses and testimonies. All we get impressed. We feel that as if all these things have come from Europe or America. That is not true, my dear. It is, in fact, Muhammad, messenger of peace, Muhammad, peace upon him, the last messenger, who taught world all these norms. And that to 1400 years back, when nobody understood the significance of such commands. Imagine, Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu, O believers, iza tadayantum bidainin. When you go for some transaction based on debt, ila ajal muslim, for a specific period of time, faktubuhu. So write the document. Write the document. Imagine importance of writing. Quran was revealed, revelation. Quran starts with Iqra, read, and then Quran also emphasizes writing also. You read and write. And that was the era of enlightenment. Era of reading and writing starts with the advent of Muhammad, peace be upon him, on the world scene. Before that, nobody knew all these, nothing. These things we know today. In our courts, in our this new nomenclature, attorneys and then testimonies and magistrates and witnesses and documentation like this. Imagine 1400s. Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu, O believers, idha tadayantum bidainin. Dain means debt or a loan. When you go for a transaction regarding debts, ila ajali musamma, for a specific period of time, faktubu, then write it. It's very important, Quran says ajali musamma, that once you go for documentation, you borrow money or you lend money to somebody, it should be well documented. Document should be written. and lesser details will follow. Quran also ajali musamma. It should be specific about the dates. Today, on 18th of April 2023, we are undergoing this, writing this document, and this loan, the debtor should keep, it should be mutually decided that when debt is to be repaid, after what time, whether in installments or in lump sum. And the date should be mentioned for a specific period of time. It should not be left open. That makes confusion, creates confusion. And that creates doubts and suspicion between the parties. And it should be well documented in a proper way, not like even we see from our fuqaha, Muslim experts of jurisprudence. It should not be like this. Okay, I take debt from you, I take a loan, I borrow money from you. I shall return it by spring, or by, inshallah, by onset of autumn. These are vague terms. Quran said, don't write it. Write the dates. That's like this. Or sometimes we write, we shall repay it by September. It's not like that. Write whether it is 30th September or before or 1st of September or October. It should be specific, because that means otherwise the debtor feels it may be end of the month, and the loanee who gives money gives money to some debtor, he thinks it is in the beginning. He takes it, and there is confusion, there is suspicion, and mutual bad blood, misunderstandings, and which may result in very bad affairs. That's what Quran says. Firstly, it should be for a specific period of time, well-determined time, and then faktub and write it. You should not feel shy of writing, as we found in this verse itself. Being the longest verse, Quran says, وَلَا تَسْأَمُوا أَن تَكْتُبُوا صِغْرًا. Don't feel shy. Don't get weary. Don't feel weary of writing, even if the amount is small or big. Because this is according to set norms, it should be. فَاكْتُبُوا, write it. وَلْيَكْتُبْ, imagine. وَلْيَكْتُبْ بَيْنَكُمْ كَاتِبٌ بِالْعَدْلِ. And let a scribe, that in modern words, petition writer, or anyone, whatever we may call him, who knows reading and writing, let him write the document for you. But bil adl, with justice. He should not use words which are open to interpretation, which can be interpreted different ways, and that can make confusion. It should be properly. And then Quran has instructions for the writers also. وَلَا يَعْبَ كَاتِبٌ أَن يَكْتُبَ. A scribe or the writer of the document should not refuse to write. كَمَا عَلَّمَهُ اللَّهُ, as Allah has given him knowledge. So this is utilization of knowledge. People should get benefited from his knowledge. All were not educated in olden time. Now it's mostly educated people, but still, when it comes to writing of documents, it has become a technical affair now. I also read, I can speak, I can read English or Urdu, other languages, but coming to documentation, I can't, because that's not my cup of tea. It was some technicality, some specific language, so that everything is apparent and clear. This need of a writer or a katib or a scribe is still there. As it was in olden times. وَلَا يَعْبَ كَاتِبٌ أَن يَكْتُبَ. The writer or scribe should not refuse to write a document. كَمَا عَلَّمَهُ اللَّهُ, as Allah has taught him. Allah has given him knowledge. Then imagine every detail. That's why Quran is a perfect system. It provides perfect system, minor details. فَلْيُمْلِلِ الَّذِي عَلَيْهِ الْحَقِّ. Let the document be written or dictated by the person who has the obligation. See I wonder, beauty of the statement. And that too 1400 years back. Let him, وَلْيُمْلِ الَّذِي عَلَيْهِ الْحَقِّ, and let him dictate or write who has the obligation or who is the debtor. That it is like this. We can say, for example, I take loan from you. So it should be either I write or I dictate, the person who writes it. Man, that's I, such and such person, son of such and such person, resident of such and such place, on this date, specific date, on this date, on month and year, I am borrowing an amount of rupees 10,000 from the person, namely this man, son of like that, resident of this. And now I solemnly declare an oath that I shall repay this money, I shall return this money to the person who has been so kind to me by 31st of August or such and such. Because I have to sign it. It should be on me. We know it now. If we go for the document, we do it like this today in 21st century. Not a person who gives loan. He writes that I'm giving a loan of this, he should return me by this. That's unscientific. So Quran says, even these minor details are explained. That I, namely this one, son of this one, resident of this one, on this day, I'm borrowing a money, such and such amount from this person, resident of that, and I agree in principle. I don't know, again, I tell you the technical language, I'm just talking simple language. I declare no that as a return amount, this amount by that date, or and as agreed upon, easy installments of 500 in 4 installments, like that, whatever it is. Because I am taking the loan, I have to write it. I have to put my signatures. I have to put my thumb impressions. So Quran says, imagine, that let him dictate or write who has the obligation, who is the debtor. But while writing or dictating, he should fear Allah. He should not conceal anything, diminish anything. Whatever is transparent, clear, in open language, clear-cut language, as Quran says, Qulu qawlan sadida. You should say words, clear words. Not which make it tomorrow misunderstandings. Here again, it's mentioned. Then, فَإِنْ كَانَ الَّذِي عَلَيْهِ الْحَقِّ. If the person who has the obligation, if the person is I'm taking debt, but I'm safiha, I don't have proper mental fitness. I don't have proper understanding. Or if he's quite weak, or he doesn't know how to dictate a document, because this is also a technical affair. It may not. I am taking debt. I have to dictate or ask the scribe to write, but I don't know what. Either I'm mentally sick, not well, or I'm very weak, or I don't know how to write a document. So how can I dictate? Quran explains, gives directions, instruction, even such extraordinary situations too. If the person concerned, who has the obligation, that who is the debtor, is safiha, has little mental understanding, or therefore is weak, or doesn't know how to dictate a document, how to write a document, let his guardian or let him appoint an attorney. He shall dictate a document on his behalf, but will adl, with all the normal justice. He should not mince words, make it here and there, and make anything which is open to debate and discussions and misunderstanding. No, let him appoint a guardian or let a guardian or an attorney on his behalf dictate a document. And that's beauty of Quran. Once you write the document, you put your signatures, your thumb impressions, whatever it is, it depends upon the transaction, how big it is. Then bring witnesses. Take witnesses on this document. Shahida in 2 witnesses. Mir rijalikum, from your menfolk, 2 men are to be, not females. Rijal means males. Then Quran says, فَإِلَمْ يَكُنَ رَجُلًا. If you don't have 2 males, فَرَجُلٌ وَامْرَأَتَانِ. Then 1 male and 2 women. People get confused here, who are not, who don't try to read and understand Quran in depth. They derive first conclusion that means according to Quran, 2 women are equivalent to 1 man. So women is half of the man. That's not under discussion. Firstly, about this, Islam is a perfect system. You have to remember, it's a perfect system. Where Everyone has its own role. In an Islamic system, it's only man who is a bread earner, who has been assigned a job of put all his efforts, physical, mental, to earn livelihood, not only for his own self, for the whole family. A woman is under no obligation in Islamic system. She has his own job to manage house, to take care of the children, to educate them, to maintain hygiene, and to do nursing, whatever she can do, the best job, where man is no match. There are many fields where man is no match to a woman as far as caring of children. Can you manage as males a baby? You are giving a baby 3, 5 years, 5 days old baby in your lap, and can you take care of? It's impossible. That means you are no match to a woman who can take care of the baby. That it doesn't mean women is superior to man. It is division of labor. Similarly, a man has to work in the army, to work as a soldier, to fight on the fronts. That's not the capacity of a woman. Today, we are told that women can also do it. And women are being recruited in armies, starting from America. Excuse me, I don't want the details which you may be also knowing. When after 9/11, there was an invasion, American invasion in Iraq and surrounding countries, bombardment, deployment of forces, distraction, and firepower everywhere. Women soldiers were also sent. I was in America those days. On their return, the stories which came from those females on the television screens and news channels, that was horrible. That was so tearful, with all the tears and gloom on their face. They said how they were exploited by their officers and sometimes even by their subordinates. Because this is not their job. They have other fields. They have the fields of surgery, medicine, nursing, orphanage, and many more. They can teach a girl can teach babies in schools, nursery, first, second. Best possible, but no, all the males put together cannot match a single girl teaching to such. That's their job. There are many more fields. It's not restricted to only education and medicine. There are many more. But it is when you do that, as I told you earlier, there's a Persian proverb, Kari Najar Badasti Gilkar. Najar means carpenter. Gilkar means a mason. The problem is, if you ask a carpenter to do some masonry work, and you ask a mason to do some carpentry, that creates havoc. And somebody asks you, is carpenter better or a mason? You say, forget about it, you are a fool. This is an irrelevant question. It's a domain, it's a different field. Is a doctor better or an engineer? If I ask you this question, what will be your response? You'll take me as fool. He doesn't know, he doesn't have any exposure. Same way, if somebody asks, is man superior or a woman? Is man better? This is the same way, according to Quran, it is irrelevant question. So, cutting short, is here. Quran says this about taking debts, going for transactions. This job Quran has assigned to males. So it is their job. It is their job. They have to do. That's why you take 2 witnesses from males. Because it is now extraordinary situation. If it's not always, and women can also testify. She can act as a testimony. She can be a testimony. But it's not normal, it's abnormal, extraordinary situation. She too. But since women are not used to it, and nor will Islam allow, as we did in today, we hesitate if there are some court cases. We hesitate to send our women folk to courts. We say it's not their job. We say we'll do it, we'll manage it. Except if there is some dire situation, but there's no option but to take our women to court before a president, before a magistrate for a statement, or for inheritance or other problems. Otherwise, we avoid it. It's not their cup of tea. As women cannot do many things which a woman can do in the most efficient manner. So that's why Quran says, وَاسْتَشْهِدُوا شَهِيدًا مِنْ رِجَالِكُمْ. You take two witnesses for the menfolk. فَإِنْ لَمْ يَكُنَا رَجُلَيْنِ فَرَجُلٌ وَامْرَأَتَانِ. If two men are not available, then one man and two women. That doesn't mean two women are equal to one man. It's an extraordinary situation. أَنْ تَدِلَ مِمَّنْ تَرْضَوْنَ مِنَ الشُّهَدَاءِ. Out of the witnesses who are acceptable to you. That means witnesses should be acceptable to both the parties. See beauty of the statements. Not acceptable to one party. Which is the witnesses should be acceptable to both, who gives a loan and who takes the loan, or who is a giver and a taker. It should be acceptable to. If a woman errs or forgets, others shall remind her. Since it is not her job, that's why they both can join together and present themselves as witnesses on the document. Otherwise, it is not their job. And they can't remember it too. Imagine, I know, once one of my friends, a senior doctor, he was constructing a house. And once I was accompanying him, we went to the carpenter, the master craftsman. And my friend, that physician, he asked him, what I have to buy? He said, yes, you get this wood like this. And he asked my friend doctor that you have to get 4 inch by 4 inches and 12 feet long, this thing, a log of wood. And then then he asked the doctor, do you get it? He said, yes, I remember it. And after a few days, when he bought that wood, or the construction of wood, it was different. A carpenter had a laugh. He said, oh, Doctor sir, what have you done it? He said, you told me. He said, you forgot. Then we had a smile. Doctor said, oh, man, since I don't belong to the profession, I forgot it. Similarly, an engineer, he couldn't go for a surgery. He can prescribe some other medicine for a tablet, which an ordinary compounder or a medical assistant can do. So there is not question superior in front. It would take mutual help. That's the division of labor. And the witnesses should not refuse to present their signatures when they are called, when they are asked for that. And don't be wary of writing the document, even if whether it's small or big. Because sometimes we suffer. I confess before you, which I should not have perhaps. I have myself suffered. I suffered a lot. I felt shy that I'm giving loan to somebody. Should I ask him to give me in writing a receipt? I said I should not do it. But I had to suffer a lot, which was beyond my capacity and beyond my imagination. And that time, one of my friends reminded me, and you are a Quran reader. You know Quran. Have not read verse number 281 of Al-Baqarah. When the person whom I provided debt or I have tried to bail him out, he did it for interpretation. But there was nothing written. I had to cut a sorry figure. There were arguments, counter-arguments, disputes, and interventions from that quarter, this quarter. And it happens. It's not particularly specific to me or you. It can happen. The Quran says, and imagine 1400 years back. And don't be wary of writing a document, whether it is small or big, but for a specific period. It has to be a determined period. ذَلِكُمْ أَقْسَطُ عِنْدَ اللَّهِ. This is more just in the sight of Allah. If you write a document, imagine how much emphasis on writing. That is just in the sight of Allah. وَأَكْمُلِ الشَّهَادَةِ. And it is stronger as an evidence when you write it. وَأَدْنَا أَلَّا تَرْتَابُ. And doubts are minimized when you write everything. And transparently you write everything, and you write it, it minimizes doubts also. Tartabu. Then again Quran says, Illa antakuna tijaran hadira, except if you go for hand-to-hand transactions, which we daily do, which you normally do. You go to shop, you buy something, and pay money. Quran says this is daily transaction, small transaction, you pay and you get. There's no problem. There's no sin or blame if you don't write those. Because that's just you pay and you get, that's all. But you should take witnesses whenever you go for a transaction. Debt or any kind of transaction, buying, selling, you go for buyer. The transaction, you should take witnesses. See, such intricacies, some minor details defined in Quran. That scribe or the writer should not be harmed. She is not a witness. That means if tomorrow is a dispute or someone misunderstands and you are dragging this the witness, putting him to trouble, and the time is going to come, nobody will be ready to offer his witness to anything. Or you unnecessarily trouble the witness or the writer. That's too hard for him. He has done a favor. He has done his job. He didn't have any personal interest. Quran said, please don't unnecessarily don't trouble them. Don't harm or don't put to trouble the writer or the witness. If you do it, it is an open disobedience from your part. That you are thankless, you are ungrateful, you are troublesome people, you are mischief mongers, you are unnecessary, you are a giver, he is a taker, and you are involving unnecessarily the person who helped you in making this document, in writing this document, or who acted as a witness just to make the transaction easy between you. He is out of the problem, and now you are creating trouble for them. What is their problem? What is their fault? No fault of theirs. If you do it, then you are in open disobedience. You are disobedient, Lord. So fear Allah. It's Allah who teaches you, makes you understand all these things. And Allah has knowledge of everything. And then again an extraordinary situation. Because once you are in normal situation, you give and somebody takes loan, or you are the taker and he the giver, you make a document as explained in this verse. Now the next verse, that's verse number 283. وَإِن كُنْتُمْ عَلَى سَفَرٍ. If you are on a journey, وَلَمْ تَجِدُوا كَاتِبًا, and you don't find a scribe or a writer, that means during journey you need money, you need a loan, or somebody needs it, and you are the giver. He is the debtor. But you don't find any katib. How can in a journey, or traveling, on a camelback, on a horseback, in a motor car, or somewhere, or in a different city where you are not well extant to, you don't know, you are not, there are no accountants around, but in an urgency you need some money or somebody needs it, you help him. Quran says, وَإِن كُنْتُمْ عَلَى سَفَرٍ. If you are on a journey, وَلَمْ يَتَجِدُوا كَاتِبًا, and you don't find a writer or scribe to write the document of loan or this debt, فَرِحَانُ مَقْبُودًا. In that case, pledge with position can help. Pledge with position, or in the, what you call in normal language, security deposit. That means a person who is a debtor. So there's no documentation, no witnesses, no thumb impressions, no scribe available, nothing. But you give loan and somebody takes it, then there should be some pledge with position or a security deposit. That means the person who takes the debt may keep something in custody. Okay, man, I need 1,000 rupees, but I have a watch. You please keep my watch till I return this money to you. Or I'm having a gold ring, or somebody in my purse, I have a ring in my satchel, so you can keep it till I return. That's security deposit or pledge by possession till the amount is liquidated. That's security deposit, which is called Rahan bil Qabd. It's called Arabic Rahan. But Quran says, فَإِنْ أَمِنَ بَعْضُكُمْ بَعْضًا. But if you put trust in each other, فَلْيُعَدِّ الَّذِي تُؤْمِنَ أَمَانَتَهُ. Let who has been entrusted, let him fulfill the trust. It has dual meaning, both ways. That means If somebody gives you money on journey, and you have to give a security deposit, put something with him, but the person refuses, says no, need not, because it's too hard. You can keep it, but I'm sure, that he'll return it. He doesn't take it. Okay, that means when a person puts his trust in you, he doesn't demand any security deposit or any pledged possession. He doesn't demand it. You should come up with the trust. It's not tomorrow, say, where there's no evidence, can be present, and is there any witness around? How did I borrow? I didn't borrow anything. That's too hard. You should not do that. And it is other way around, other meaning. That means if the person, debtor who takes a loan, he keeps something in your custody till he returns the amount, you should come up to the trust. You should fulfill that trust. That means the thing which has been left with you in security deposit, if the person cannot use it for his personal use. It is to be kept as a trust, not to use it in any way. Till when the amount is repaid, we have to return the thing to it. Except, of course, it is safe if some animal is kept as trust, as a rehan. If somebody gives a cow, you can take a cow, and I know 10,000, 50,000 or so. But since you have to feed the cow, you have to take care, you have to provide him food and shelter and all that. So you can, some Muslim experts or jurisprudence that you can use milk extra. But normally, anything put in custody till the amount is returned, that person in whose custody that thing is, he should not use it, he should not misuse it. That says the meaning. وَمَنْ يَكْتُمْ, then وَلَا تَكْتُمُ الشَّهَادَةَ, don't conceal his testimony. That means one who has put his testimony, who is a witness, that should not be concealed. He should not shy away from it. When he is asked, were you present when the document was put in black and white? What do you know about it? He should know what he knows. It should not be concealed. Otherwise, they get trouble, suspicion and misunderstandings. فَإِنَّهُ وَمَنْ يَكْتُمَهُ, who conceals it, فَإِنَّهُ آثِمٌ قَلْبُهُ, he makes his heart sinful. He fills his heart with all the sins. وَاللَّهُ بِمَا تَعْمَلُونَ عَلِيمٌ, and Allah has knowledge. Allah knows whatever you do. صدق الله العظيم وصدق رسوله النبي الكريم والحمد لله رب العالمين.